In June of 2026, South of 5th condos closed at a median price per square foot of over $2,000 per square foot and at a median price sold of over $3.4 million. That is the highest pricing of any condo neighborhood that I cover. And it tells you something very important about where the market is and who is buying here. I am Jose Laya, and I was born and raised right here in Miami, and I've been selling real estate in the city for 20 years. I've seen every market cycle this city has gone through, and today I'm going to give you the real numbers. And in our first graph, we're going to show you the second quarter numbers for 2026 on a month-by-month basis, as well as the total numbers for the second quarter on that bottom row, which is that light blue row. And we'll start with the month of April. First, we want to say something about active listings. Look at April, May, and June. They go from 121 to 138 to 161. We've said this before, but let us explain in case you're new here. Most listings, when they're taken either at the end of the previous year or at the beginning of this year, are set to expire at the end of the first quarter, which is either March 31st or maybe even April 1st. So what happens is that all active listings on the market at that time, a lot of them expire March 31st or April 1st, and they fall off the market. That's why April will always have a lower number of active listings. Then, over the next coming days and weeks, those sellers relist and re-enter the market. And that's why you have what we call a ramping up effect of active listings from April to May to June. As those sellers relist and re-enter the market, plus they're competing with new active listings. You're always going to see that. It is a normal function of the real estate market, so it's nothing to be concerned about. That being said, let's look at closed sales. Interestingly enough, look at April. Right there, 30 closed sales. Months of supply went down to 4. Days on market, 48. Look at the median price per square foot, $1,200. Median price sold of $1.3 million. Look at the number of closed sales month over month, 30, 19, 16. It looks like the market was slowing down. Look at the days on market, how it increased as sales went down, 48, 107, 119. But we feel this is why. Look at the pricing, the median price per square foot and median price sold month over month. Look at this, $1,201.3, and then it jumped to $1,700 per square foot instead of $1,200. 1.9, almost $2 million median price per square foot instead of 1.3. And then look at the final month in the quarter of June. You had the lowest number of closed sales, but the highest pricing for both median price per square foot and median price sold. Look at this, over $2,000 per square foot and over $3.4 million, all while days on market also increased to 119. From what we can gather from this data, we could see that yes, sales slowed, but that was as prices increased. There were still closings to be had, and obviously that made buyers a little bit more patient, which is why days on market increased. Overall though, we see pretty good numbers here. That median price per square foot at over $2,000 and that median price sold of over $3.4 million tells us that the buyers are out there. They'll pay a premium for the right property at the right price. So again, the fact that June had the lowest number of closed sales, they transacted though at the highest prices, as we could see by here. Obviously, that shows you the strength and the exclusivity of the condo market in South of 5th. On that topic, we like to highlight the highest priced closed sale for the quarter. This time around, it was a truly one-of-one penthouse at the Icon South Beach. It was over 7,000 square feet of interior space, and an over 10,000 square feet of outdoor living with a private pool. It sold for $23.5 million, which brings it out to over $2,600 per square foot. Now, that was the highest price closed sale for the quarter, $23.5 million for a penthouse at the icon South Beach. The interesting part of the story, and a detail for every seller watching this, that penthouse was on and off the market for over 2.5 years. It started with an asking price of $54 million, and it just sold for 23.5. So now we want to take these total numbers for the quarter and be able to put them in context for you. And we're going to compare them to the first quarter to see if we can spot any trends, especially moving into the third quarter. Let's take a look at this graph now. Look at these numbers. First, look at active listings. They actually dropped from the first quarter to the second quarter, while closed sales increased. Obviously dropping months of supply, days on market slightly increased, but look at pricing. Median price per square foot jumped almost to $1,500 per square foot. Median price sold jumped to $1.8 million. Now here's what makes this data remarkable. More closings, less inventory, tighter supply, and higher prices. All four moving in the right direction at the same time. In any other market, that combination is considered exceptional. In south of 5th, which is already the most exclusive condo market in Miami, it confirms that demand for this neighborhood is real and growing. So where does the data suggest that this market is heading into the third quarter? When you see numbers like this, inventory declining while closings are increasing and prices are rising, that is a market building genuine momentum. If the supply continues to tighten and the buyer activity holds, south of 5th could see its strongest pricing and highest number of closed sales in the coming quarter. I will have the full third quarter picture for you when the data is in. Subscribe so you don't miss it. So what does this mean for you? If you're a buyer in south of 5th, the data shows a market where the quality product at the right price can move fast. We have seen the trend move up in days on market, so you may have some time to pick out the right property for you. If you're a seller in south of 5th, obviously prices moved much higher in the second quarter. However, in south of 5th, the buyers are sophisticated, patient, and well advised. Price where the market is, and the market will reward you. Price above that, and you will obviously have to wait and sit on the market. And that is your complete south of 5th condo market report for the second quarter of 2026. We showed you exactly where the market has been, where it stands today, and where it may be heading into the third quarter. If you found this useful, subscribe. I cover different Miami condo neighborhoods with real data and 20 years of experience behind every number I share with you. Drop your questions in the comments or reach out directly if you're ready to buy or sell in south of 5th. I am always happy to help.